guys, so the topic that we're going to be discussing about today is about sleep deprivation. And so this is a topic that we chose because we felt that it was the most relevant to us as students. Like we're getting less than 7 hours of sleep, and like most of us probably, and we all have had at least once in our life cramming for a test, or because of anxiety or due to schoolwork overload, we've definitely had less sleep. And so today we're going to be discussing about what exactly sleep deprivation is, what the consequences are of not sleeping enough, and what the solutions are, and what the benefits to sleeping more could do to our bodies and us. So basically, the definition of sleep deprivation is not getting enough sleep. And that's like a very basic definition, but this is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So like there are two different types of sleep cycles, two different types of sleeps. One is a non-REM and one is REM. So REM stands for rapid eye movement, and rapid eye movement is a type of sleep which is characterized by dreamless, when you're dreaming. It usually occurs when you're dreaming, and non-rapid eye movement is usually occurring when you are dreaming. Yes. I might have got that mixed up, but I think that's correct. Yes. And so these two cycles occur around 3 to 5 times per night, and it is the quality of this cycle that results in how good you feel after sleeping. And this, in conjunction with your circadian rhythm, which is like your body's internal clock, helps you to feel restful after a night of sleep and allows you to function normally after rest. And so this, sleep has a lot of benefits. There's some studies that show that if you get enough sleep, it gives your body time to transport your short-term memory into long-term memory. So as students, this is also relevant because if we want to get smart or retain more information, ideally we should be getting enough of sleep. And so Yana over here will be talking about some of the consequences of not getting enough sleep.
Okay guys, so basically, okay. Oh, just kidding. That was just micro sleep. I was basically showing what micro sleep was.
I freaked out.
So basically, micro sleep is basically short instances of sleep that happens while you're awake. And basically that's a direct effect of sleep deprivation. Sorry guys, I'm a theater kid, so I just had to do that. Sleep deprivation. And basically, there was a case study that happened. Basically, scientists took a group of people, and then volunteers, and then they had to stay awake for like 22 hours. And then they were put in a dark room, and they used fMRI scanning, imaging of the brain, and basically they were told to stay awake. And obviously they had microsleep, so basically they were falling asleep. And they saw which areas of the brain were working. And basically the thalamus, which is the part of the brain that regulates sleep, it was like not working well, while the area of the brain that had to do with sensory and like to make you like awake was working. So basically, while half of your brain was like trying to get you to sleep, another half of the brain was trying to make you like awake. And basically there are obvious short-term effects such as like irritability, and then like your memory doesn't work really well, and then you can't concentrate, which is basically, it kind of happens because of microsleep. Like you keep falling asleep during class. But there are also long-term effects which are really detrimental to your health, which are like obviously like obesity or lowering your immune system, or diabetes. And actually there was also another case study. They took a group of teenagers, and they usually maybe slept around 7 hours, but they decreased the amount that they slept for 1 hour. And they saw that the risk of getting obese went like really high. So yeah, you gotta get enough sleep so you don't get obese. And since there's a coronavirus going around, you guys probably should sleep a lot more because it lowers your immune system. And since there's no cure for coronavirus, if your immune system works well, it lowers the risk of you dying. So,
so you should sleep more too.
Yeah, you should sleep more.
Increase your immune system.
Yeah. And then there's a common sleep disorder called insomnia, which all of you guys know. You just can't go to sleep. But there's also something called fatal insomnia, which is when you have insomnia, it just never goes away. You just can't ever sleep. Like when you try to sleep, like you might be sleeping, but right when you're about to fall asleep, you get jerked awake, and you just can't ever fall asleep. And there's actually a brother and a sister who, I don't know if they're still alive, but they have fatal sleep insomnia, and they never slept, and then they're going to die because it kills you. And then their ancestors have died because of this. Like their mom have died because of fatal sleep insomnia. And there's basically sporadic, which is it just occurs spontaneously in your life. And there's also familial, which is genetic. And Maya's going to talk about some of the solutions to sleep deprivation.
Yay. Okay, so basically there's like the normal solutions, which are like medication that you can get over the counter. So things like sleeping pills or allergy medicine like NyQuil that'll like has all the different stuff in it to make you fall asleep. Or you can take medications for like underlying health problems that keep you from sleeping. So you have to go to a doctor for that. And then there's like prescription ones that are like Lunesta and Ambien and things like that. But then that's not really exciting. So then there's one thing there's called cognitive behavioral therapy, which is basically a type of psychotherapeutic treatment, which is it's like a talking therapy that aims to identify like the harmful things in your life that keep you from sleeping, or like the harmful thoughts or feelings, and it helps you identify those feelings that you can help like suppress them, or like overcome them so that you can fall asleep. So there'll be things like that'll like PTSD, like things that cause PTSD that'll keep you from sleeping, things like that. And then there's lucid dreaming, which I don't know if not a lot of y'all have heard of that, but it's exciting. So the research was pioneered by Dr. Stephen LeBerg, and basically it is when you are sleeping and you're dreaming, and it aims to like while you're dreaming, you recognize that you're dreaming and you can kind of control your dreams. So it like awakens your consciousness while you're in REM sleep. And it's really cool. There's one research, Voss et al. 2009, that basically provides evidence that it does cause physiological changes while you're sleeping. And it can act as like a therapy so that you can help fall asleep. So like some positives of it are it improves motor skills, helps relieve anxiety, and it can help you overcome nightmares. But then there's like negatives or cautions to it. So when you're trying to, you can't just, like you want to lucid dream, so you're going to lucid dream. Like that's not really how it works. You kind of have to train yourself to do it. And a lot of the times that involves disturbing your sleep, so disturbing your sleep patterns, because a lot of times you have to wake yourself up in the middle of a dream, which is, you're not supposed to do that, and that can cause a lot of sleep problems. And because you are like conscious while you are dreaming, it can lead to things like derealization, which is basically you get mixed up reality and like dream, like you can't really tell the difference. And it can cause like sleep paralysis, and it can cause nightmares, but it's aimed to not give you nightmares, so you kind of have to like balance it out. But yeah, so that's pretty much it.
So the best solution